Hi, welcome to another episode of Sprinkle Happiness. I am Nev. I am having a very special guest today, but in Sprinkle Happiness, we don't just talk about happiness just as a feeling. We explore what actually makes us feel safe and makes us feel calm and healthy, and physical well-being is one of those elements. We all know how connected the mind and the body is. And when the body is in balance, the nervous system feels safe and we can be at our best. And when the body is in constant survival mode, we pay a high cost for that. So my guest today is a physician. She is a researcher and a scientist who has spent years working and researching the intersection between medicine and healing and human resilience. So through her own journey and her work, she discovered something really that resonated with me, letting go of being right and letting go. Because being right is not a weakness, it is awareness. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
It's my pleasure to connect with women on all their course of life, right? It's a process. So I love to enjoy that process storytelling with you.
I am so hungry to learn more from you, Dr. Lu. You have a remarkable journey, and I am so curious. I'd love to know more about you and share your story with our listeners. How you changed from a traditional medicine to this more holistic, this integrative medicine. So, what was the moment that changed everything for you?
Yeah, so this is actually a moment of my lifetime learning. Simply the desire to be curious and the desire to seek truth and the answer, right? I think one thing in medicine we are losing is we're more following protocols. We are take that curiosity away. We ask for evidence-based evidence, right? We become less of a thinker, not to mention sometimes our heart is disconnected from the brain. I think as physicians, first question that I think is curious. The curiosity about human being, about this miraculous machine, about that soul journey, like why we're all even here. Like, these are things that we don't have time to even stop and take back and think about it. So that's really something I learned through my own journey, because I grew up in China. My grandmother is a Chinese medicine doctor. She lived until 96. Wow. She learned English when she was 86. Never had cancer, never had heart disease. She died basically when she was ready to go. My mother is 98. She's turning 98 in a month.
Wow.
And she's a cardiologist. Gu Fu Sheng is a big name in Chinese cardiology, history, in the whole history of China. When I grew up with these two women who are passionate about helping people, right? Regardless of money. My grandmother served her whole life without desiring any kind of payback. My mother is a cardiologist in China. As you want to be a doctor, you get a salary. You don't really go into medicine because of money. Okay. So I grew up in this culture, and it's deeply rooted in my desire to have that love and connection with people, and also to just be curious. And so I decided to take on a PhD program in the Medical College of Wisconsin. I also desire to come out to America, because as hard as a place, currently we're experiencing a lot of economic stress. I have to say, if you lived in another country for 25 years,
yes,
as a woman particularly, you move to America, definitely have more opportunity to really live your life. So I
Yes.
think that's something a lot of Native Americans that are born here may not appreciate so much. So
Yes.
I just want to share that with you. I
Yes.
came here when I was 25. I'm 62. So I actually lived in this country much longer
Yes.
than China,
I
right?
same with me. I came when I was 24. It's my 26th year this year.
Right?
Yes. Yes. Oh,
So,
wow.
and we're watching this country, we're part of Americans. Americans, we're just a big mixing pot, which is a huge blessing because we're all from different culture. It doesn't matter. I mean, the
It
true
does not
native,
matter.
Native Americans come as the first settler, right? But we're all from different part. That what make America really amazing. And I think we do need to change and make it better. But really, we're still a good place to explore that self-freedom. The soul feel more free in
Yes.
this country than any other country.
That's correct. And no matter where we live, we have one desire. We have the desire to be healthy and we have the desire to be happy. And our
Yes.
health is part of our life journey toward longevity and a happy life. So I'm really
Yeah,
curious, Dr. Liu. So you're all about finding the root cause of the symptom and not just treat the symptom, not just put a
correct.
band-aid on the symptoms. So have you
Correct.
experienced in your own health journey that
Yes.
shifted your perspective and share that with us.
Yes. So that's coming down to how did I make the turn, right?
Mhm.
So I was always loving the science of Western medicine. You design, you have a hypothesis, you design experiment, you prove or disapprove. And I love that part of Western medicine, right? And so I came to Mount Shasta and I opened a Mount Shasta Integrated Medicine after residency in Oakland. So when I first started seeing people, I always thought maybe I'll implement some diet and exercise for sure. And living in Mount Shasta, it really slow you down to really have the luxury to actually address these two fundamental principles. Move your body,
Mhm,
eat healthy food. I
mhm.
actually end up being, like mostly plant based. But at the same time, I'm also seeing tremendous stress. And then, when you talk about vegans are actually really stressed because when they are stressed, they feel the burden of the planet change, the animals suffering. So they have a lot of stress. And so just because you're vegan, guaranteed you'll have a healthy life either, right? Not to mention genetically, we have challenges too. But what's really changed me is when I was 42 years old, I was maxed out. I was working in the ICU, nursing home. I also had my own practice. So that's 3 jobs. I had a relationship. I was married to my second marriage. Okay. And so I don't really see my husband. I work, I come home,
Yes.
eat something, go to sleep, exercise. These are things important. But like you said, that part of joy
Mhm,
of being just take nature's way it's not there. I was just fighting through my life with this little masculine energy, right? Because I think a lot of women we have to fight a lot. We have to fight for being who we are, and I don't think men appreciate that because I'm not accusing them to be sexist, but there is a systemic issue with women because we don't feel we can be ourselves. We have to put on a mask, put on armor, put on this shield, and go into the world and fight
mhm.
through, which
Yes.
is good to a degree. But then I got sick. So what is my sickness? Well, I couldn't sleep. Every time I go to bed, this is when I was 42. That's 20 years ago.
So when
I go
you
to
had because you had a busy and stressful life.
And I also sustained a bicycle related head injury. And I didn't know the head injury was really the beginning of my endocrine system crashing. Okay. Because behind our third eye, there's two glands. One of them is pituitary gland. One of them is the pineal gland. When you have a head injury, sometimes the head injury could be just somebody, let's say you hit your head on fire mantle. right? Or something minor. Because people think head injury is that you crack your head open. No, you just sometimes it could be a simple deceleration, a
Yeah.
motor vehicle accident,
Like a concussion.
like a concussion.
Yeah.
Sometimes could be mild. You didn't really end up going to the ER. But what happened is about 1 million Americans sustain a so-called head injury, but only 1 out of 3 actually saw a doctor. The 2 out of 3, which is 60% of 1 million people, okay, end up with a brain injury related hypopituitarism. I know that's a mouthful, but if you can imagine, the pituitary gland is the master gland of the entire endocrine system. It's like the master of the symphony, the conductor. The conductor have to conduct all the thyroid, the adrenal, the ovaries. For man is the testes. When the master is not working or injured, we start to experiencing symptoms of hypothyroid. The adrenal is burned out, and then our sex hormones, especially women in our reproductive age, we require the communication between the pituitary gland and the ovary. Now, even today, when we go through perimenopause and menopause, is women always want to get their estrogen back, right? Everything's about estrogen. But they forgot the master gland is not in the conversation. And that is a big missing piece. So when I was 42, I was still menstruating, but I was taking birth control pill. So that knock off the communication between the pituitary and the ovary, right? That's number one. Number two,
Okay.
when you have a head injury, the pituitary gland is injured. Okay. So to make it simple is I was not sleeping. Every time I go to bed, my brain turns on, right? Start making a list for next day.
Yes, we
Couldn't
all do
sleep.
that. We are guilty of that. Yes.
Yeah. Right. And then during the day, what really is interesting is every time after lunch, I become very drowsy. My brain becomes foggy. And so when patient come in, I have to keep working, right? And that moment, and I did all the blood tests because I did everything. Everything is normal, right?
Mhm.
Normal. And so I was like, this is something wrong with me, but I still kind of in that conventional mode of survival. And then one day would wake me up is I was seeing an older couple and I was talking to them and I fell asleep when they were talking.
Mm.
Now, these old
Wow.
couple are in their 70s and I was 42 years old, right?
Wow.
And they said, Dr. Lu, are you okay? Are you okay? And they woke up. I was, oh my God, I just fell asleep when they were telling me their story,
Oh
right?
my God.
So
They
I
worried about
know
you. Yes.
this is crazy.
You need
And
to be the one seeing a doctor.
exactly. And then when I did I also had a chronic cough back then. I could not digest food. My stomach will blow up. And then I have constipation and stomach pain. So digestion was not good. Energy is awful. My hairs are clumping out, just falling out. And I know something's wrong if all Western medicine, echocardiogram, pulmonary function test, and the EKG, chest x-ray, I did all the lab. Everything was normal. The only thing was not normal was called the human growth hormone. My IGF-1 was in the age of 100 years old. So I know I need to correct that. And what's really amazing is the universe. This is where I encourage people today. If people say, I want to have a solution, and I am praying for the universe to give me a solution, right? That's what I did. Is you have to start sending out your prayer, but at the same time, watch for the messenger. Because a lot of people want the answer, but when the messenger came, God is not going to directly talk to you. Your soul is not going to tell you,
Yes.
hey, you need to do this.
Yes.
They tell you through the language of a trouble. How
Absolutely.
soul tell you,
Absolutely. Our body, when it's hurting, when we feel like another, it's not in balance, it is actually speaking to us. And it's up to us to do something about it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Go to the doctor, get a checkup, go get a second opinion, third opinion, but your body is speaking to you. Same
yeah,
thing with the mind. If you feel restless, you don't feel
mm,
balanced, you
yeah,
feel like there is something going on
yeah,
and you just feel like you're off. That means your soul may be trying to tell you something and you got to
correct.
listen. So we
Yeah,
are so good in our busy lives nowadays, Dr. Lou, that we
mhm,
just became human doings rather
right.
than human beings, and we ignore these signs. We
Yeah,
ignore. And
yeah,
then we wonder why we get so miserable and we get more rates of depression increase, anxiety
mhm,
increase. Even
right,
though we live in an abundant society, mental health is just skyrocketing. This is not a
right.
coincidence, is it?
Right. No, no. So when I again asking why I'm not well, I ask myself why this is. Remember, I always like to ask why. And I also ask the universe, please show me a way. And this is all quiet. There's no language or letter going on social media to ask why. Okay. I ask myself and I ask the universe. And then the messenger came. The messenger is a patient of mine who has severe autoimmune. She also has hypothyroid, adrenal fatigue, and severe rheumatoid arthritis, basically. She cannot make a fist. The messenger came by being a difficult patient because I was trying to treat her with all kinds of supplements that I just learned from somebody else, right? Because we all go to conferences and we heard this miraculous story and was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, I just had that patient. I'm going to give it to her. So I came home, I gave everything to this woman, right? And she came initially as a messenger because
Mm-hmm.
she is allergic to everything I gave her. This is 20 years ago and I could not help her. She also mentioned a problem that there's too many supplements, that her body is allergic to all of it. And it's about $500. Back then, it's a lot of money. And then
Mm-hmm.
today, 500 is actually reasonable. Back then, it's a lot of money. She has to pay out of pocket. So I said, why don't you find somebody else can help you? Now, that's another key for physicians. A lot of physicians don't like to admit they don't know. When they try to know everything,
They need to know everything. They want to
they,
know, yes, because they are the authority.
yeah,
Even what
well,
they don't know, do they say, I know, I know,
yeah,
I have all the answers.
yeah, that's one thing I really encourage all physicians to let down that ego. Just let it go.
Mm.
It doesn't
That's true.
belong to medicine. It doesn't belong to you. It doesn't make you stronger and wiser. So I have to give my soul a little pat, give my little human being
Yes.
said, I told her to go find somebody else. And she came back in 2 months and she looked remarkable. Okay. And she said she lost 16 pounds first. Her
Mhm.
hair grew back. She can make a fist. And I was like, you look incredible. What happened in just only 2 months? She said, I'm taking something, one for my pituitary gland, a spray, one to detoxify my body and balance the immune system. That
Mm.
sounds way too simple, but I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved it because, in medicine, I'm an internal medicine doctor. The way functional medicine doctor practice is they try to get rid of the conventional pharmaceutical
Mhm.
and replace with 5 nutritional supplements. Okay.
Mhm.
That doesn't work.
Right.
Doesn't work because the pharmaceutical, let's say, address the high blood pressure. You have to have 5 things address the high blood pressure to go against pharmaceutical. The principle is you need to find out why, right? So
Find
when
the
she
root
said,
cause of your problem. That's it.
exactly,
Find the root cause. It's not
exactly,
always easy. How do we do that? How do
yeah,
we do that? When we have something going on, how do we do that? And where do we even begin?
yeah.
Like,
So this is a good place to begin. My patient told me when you download the nervous system, the neuroendocrine system, when you switch the survival principle to living principle, your body will heal about 50%. When you get rid of the major group of environmental toxins, which is the plastics, the chemicals, the gasoline derivative, okay, when you drive a car behind a diesel with
Yes.
your smelling, right? The outgassing of furnitures, okay, that's the fire retardants. When you get rid of the major group, I'm not saying they're the only group, because we actually have 4 group of toxins, right? Today, we have chemical, heavy metal. In Florida is mycotoxin, a lot of mold issue. And then we have electromagnetic frequency. That's the 4 modern life toxins.
Yes.
Post-pandemic, in some people, I'm not saying in everyone, is the viral toxins. We call the post-viral toxins. Not just COVID. We know CMV, Epstein-Barr, Lyme disease, and herpes. These are all viruses that don't go away like some of the bacteria infection. You just get rid of them. Viruses tend to incorporate into our system through the immune system. So post-COVID, I would say there's another new class of toxin. It's called a post-viral protein. So now, if you address the toxin, if you address the stress, your body will be good.
How do we eliminate all these toxins? Because they are everywhere. And we have no control over environmental toxins like mold. I live in Florida. I see the
Yeah.
mold issue all the time. How do we
Yeah.
protect ourselves? And where do we begin?
Yeah. So that is where I established a very simple protocol. For the past 20 years, I decided first we make the toxin visible. So how do you do that? We do 2 tests. One of them is collecting your urine. Okay. Now, why should we do that? Because a lot of physicians are so tired of this. They just say, Dr. Lu, everybody have toxins. Why do you do the test? The test is really to see about your life. What come out of your urine is not other people's issue. It's your issue, right? You're absorbing it. So the test panel is actually very useful. They can kind of tell you how your lifestyle is.
So is this a heavy metal testing?
It's a urine test.
Urine test, but to test for heavy metals in the urine?
Test for all 3. Okay. This urine test, I can show you how it looks like. I actually just got my recent third. I have been monitoring my own toxins over the past 10 years. Okay.
Wow.
I'm not
Yeah.
talking about just one day. This is
Yes.
kind of a hot topic.
So you
No,
are
I have been very
monitoring your own
committed.
toxin level in your body. So
Yes, yes,
tell us more. What changes did you do in your life so we can learn from you
yes.
and copy it?
Yep. And this is actually very simple. It's not hard. So first of all, you order this test kit. They just ship it to you through FedEx. And in
What
the
is it
test
called? What
kit,
is that? What is it called?
it's called the Vibrant Wellness.
Vibrant
And
Wellness.
there is I'm going to give you a list of tests at the end of today. So you know what I might talking about. Okay. Because you
Okay.
feel like so excited. I can tell.
Yes, I wanna do all of that.
It's so excited because in this box, I'm trying to open it. I didn't know we're going to talk about the test right away.
So is that your test kit and you're gonna be doing it and sending it back?
I already did it. I can show you my data,
Oh,
but I want to emphasize why this is important. This is vibrant wellness. Can you tell that?
yes.
Now, there's other companies do it too, but Vibrant is the most affordable and most complete. So what they do is just they ship you this box. The whole package will test for 172 chemicals. Okay, the chemicals are metabolites of plastics, pesticides, herbicides, industrial outgassing, plastics in the cosmetic, in your water bottle, in your clothing, okay? Because we found a lot of yoga teachers having breast cancer, like healthy people, and we found their level of BPA is really high.
What happened? Why?
Because a lot of the modern clothing are coated with plastics.
Wow.
And then the nice breast, the tight clothing, the people look really beautiful.
The sports bra and all those elastic clothes.
Microplastic and especially BPA. BPA is 25 absorbed through the skin. Now, if you say, let's say if this is toxin and I touch my face, it's not going to be absorbed, right? But BPA that's coated, let's say in a very nice synthetic clothing to prevent smelling, and you don't have to iron them, see? Those are loaded with toxins.
My
and
gosh.
those toxins are very easily absorbed through the skin. Okay.
So as I'm working on become a yoga instructor, Dr. Lu, do you know any company that's like more environmental, like conscious?
Oh my God. So there are a lot of company now, as soon as you do a Google search, non-toxic wear. Most of them are made of organic cotton, wool, and, cashmere is kind of hard to wash, but wool is good. And then, alpaca. So natural fabric that's usually less coated. Very, very important. Synthetic are class things like polyester, and they have different names now. It's if you can't spell, if this thing doesn't exist on Earth, it's man-made.
Yeah.
Oftentimes they're coated.
Wow. So polyester, try to stay away from fabric made of polyester.
Yep. Before we jump into the solution, let's go back to the first step. Remember, the first step is to make the toxin visible. Why is that? Because people just really have trouble giving that money out to do the test.
So
Okay,
yeah,
you
how
are
much
asking
is it again?
is $470.
Okay, that's a good investment.
Yeah, and they will give you mycotoxins, the heavy metal, and also the urine, the chemicals. So why do you do that? People say, why do you do that? Well, because you want to see what you are absorbing it, right? Not your dad or your husband. They may be very different, okay? Now, in general, my husband, like we live together, we eat the same food, we use the same utensils. So I did do one test just to make sure we're very similar. And sure enough, guess what we have?
Very similar test results. Yes.
Yeah. So if you
environment.
want to save money, just do one,
Uh-huh.
and make sure your husband doesn't eat out all the time and you're at home, because when you eat out, you get pesticides. And I have proven
Don't
myself.
say that. I eat out all the time. I don't like cooking. Really? Am I dying sooner because I eat out?
No, you're not dying sooner. You just have to be aware if you eat out, you may have to come home and detoxify yourself. Yeah, I'll teach you how to do that. So what you do is, look at this. It's this easy thing. In the morning, you pee in here.
Yes.
You don't have to do anything. You pee in here and you pour into this little tube, and then everything is included in this packet, and you just ship in. And in 2 weeks, they send you the list of what toxins are in the red, what is in the yellow, what is good. Okay. They also have a test with the company. You have to add a little more money, called the PFA. Now, PFA is a forever chemical. What do you mean forever chemical? PFA is what's in that Teflon. There is a movie called Dark Water. Very beautifully made, based on a true story of DuPont leaching that PFA into the local water and causing the teeth of the kids are declining and animals are dying, cancers are going up. It was a great movie. It's called The Dark Water. PFA can be in your body. Now, oftentimes it's in the food container when we're going out to eat, right? We go out and do a takeout, Let's say we take out organic food, right? Let's say you have a nice little organic restaurant, but they use the PFA box to put your food in there.
Right.
The PFA will get into your body. PFA is a very big endocrine disruptor. It's one of the reasons the male infertility is going up really fast. So first step, making toxins visible. Second step, I suggest, because people say that's just a waste of money. Maybe I don't need to worry. The second step we call a genetic analysis. And you can find the cheapest company like Ancestor.com or 23andMe is back now, is they gave you a saliva test. Sometimes it's like $70 and you get your raw data. When you get the raw data, you can send it to environmental medicine doctor and have them look how your body process toxin. Why that's important? Because for people, they have problem addressing the toxins. They really need to pay attention to their lifestyle.
Right.
For people, they don't have that genetic problem. They may be able to be a little bit of casual. Okay. And for me, I feel everybody need to be vigilant. But some people just cheap. They want to make sure they're spending the right money.
Right.
So I think the genetic is important.
It's
Because
important.
right? Because I've seen people, they're naturopathic physicians, or they're physicians. Let's say they're physicians. If they have something called PONS1 enzyme deficiency, those people not only have trouble detoxifying pesticides, they also tend to develop ADD. They tend to develop Parkinson's, autism if they're kids, and they will have heart attack. So it's just not worth it,
It's
right?
not worth it.
It's not
So
worth it.
the
It's not worth it.
question, Dr. Lu, is now, let's say I did the metal test and I have a list of all the toxins that are in my body. So how do I know where I got the toxins from? Because if I don't know where it came from, how can I eliminate it from my life? Like not wear
Yeah.
certain brands of athletic clothes. That's kind of like what I love living in. How do I know where it all came from? From food or from mold? Or does it say
Okay.
in the test, this is what you need to be watching out for?
Right. Right. So that is why you have to go through your test with a well-trained environmental medicine doctor. And that's what we are doing now. We have a little group of community. I have been training physicians since 2023. My own cancer journey took me a year off. I'm back now. We're just putting together a beautiful little startup called the Detox to Thrive Community. These physicians are trained to look at, okay, this is from your clothing. This is probably from your cosmetic. This is from your food and water. This is probably from your air. You live here, you touch things, you
Yes.
eat.
Yes.
That's it. It's not that
Wow.
hard.
Yes.
And let me tell you, before my breast cancer diagnosis, I was blind to the COVID influence on my immune system. That's number one. No longer. I have tests to monitor that. I ignored the BPA for 10 years because I never had family history and I was so confident I'm not going to get breast cancer. But I saw my BPA was in the red all these years. And I've discovered it. It is from the clothing. It is from the syringe, most likely, that I am applying hormones. So when I stopped the two, my BPA came down. Do you see?
Wow. Yes.
And also, we have ways to address PFA. So I don't have any PFA. PFA is very common in Florida. If I test your urine, I had a physician. Her PFA is off the chart. What did she do? Ignore.
Yes.
She's
That's
like,
what we do. We don't know. We can address it.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
We have to find out. That's one thing. And I'll be curious, just like you say, where did it come from? How can I eliminate it? Because our health is a big part of our happiness. It's not just
Yeah.
being merry and smiling all the time. No, you can enjoy life more fully if you're healthy and vibrant. That's what we're talking about today, is how you can live life to its fullest, because you rather want to be venturing and traveling and enjoying life than
Yes.
spending time at hospitals and doctors' offices. That's
Oh my
huge.
God.
That's the
You're
connection. That's the
you are
connection,
very
right? You
yep,
wanna
yep.
you wanna add more years. We're all so concerned about adding more years. We wanna live longer, but it's also about adding life in your years. What's the quality of your life gonna? How do you want it to be like? Not just living longer, but living
y-
healthy and vibrant in
Yeah,
your journey toward aging.
right. You're right. So that's two thing we just said. It is pretty simple. Anybody can do this. Don't you agree?
Yes, but tell me the secret to longevity, Dr. Lu. You got to tell us secret. What can we do immediately? Besides, I did the test. What
Mhm.
practice? What does your daily habit look like? Your morning routine. I want to know
Okay.
your morning. Do you meditate? Do you do breath work? All those are magic too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have to be really honest with you. I am not a good meditator. I think most of us, if we can meditate every day, I do believe we will be much calmer and we will be much happier and creative, more creative. But the problems, each individual have their own thing, because when I first started doing Joe Dispenza's meditation, I always fall asleep. I mean,
Oh my gosh, that's my nightly. I love Dr. Joe's meditations. I
I
never get
know.
to hear the end of it. It just knocks me out.
Yeah, knock
I
me
j-
out, knock me out.
yeah.
So, so recently I discovered something I have to share with you. It's called a pulse electromagnetic frequency. Okay. So right now I'm going to show you when I'm sitting here, it's a little mat. And this mat is called the cloud. Cloud. The cloud, when you turn it on, okay, on your chair, is 15 minutes. What does it do? It's not meditation, but it does similar things to the body. It puts your body into more the parasympathetic. Because I just talked to a woman last night from Florida, actually. She has chronic constipation. Now she's very young. She's a health nut. She said because she's so stressed now sleeping. So when she put a little mat on her tummy, she had a big large poop. What is
Mm.
that? Because this actually increased the parasympathetic. Our body, I actually met a meditator in Seattle. He's a yogi, very calm looking, talking in low voice, very peaceful, smiling. And back then, I had a machine called the Max Pulse machine that measures your cardiovascular system and also your sympathetic. And he was very calm. He said, Dr. Lu, I want you to test me. And I was like, you look really good. You meditate every day and yoga and
I
raw
do.
food. He said, yeah, I want to test it. So I tested him. He smiled. When I look at his scan, his sympathetic is way over here.
Mm-hmm.
Parasympathetic, which is the calm, resting, having sex, digesting food, is down here. And I said, what's going on? He said, oh my God, the machine can tell
He's
because the autonomic nervous system doesn't listen to how you meditate. You have
mm.
to meditate for 20 years to become that calm.
Wow, that is amazing. Is your cloud on while you're sitting on it, or you just sit on it? Tell me more.
So I sit on it for 15 minutes every morning because you were asking me my routine. And then I do this little one on my head, okay, like this. And I know I look funny, but who cares? You just lay there.
You just want to get the energy, get the vibration.
Yes. Oh my God. This energy is basically putting your body and make your body immediately in coherence. Now, when I learned this incoherence is from Dr. Joe Dispenza, because he recommend people go to his conference and he will heal people when everybody is praying for this person, right? I watched it and I said, oh my God, how remarkable this person can be healed without touching, without injecting, without doing anything, right? He
Yeah,
was documenting
mind blowing.
the state of coherent healing. What the mat is basically putting your body in coherence as if you're getting 5,000.
So, what is the research behind it? Where can we look it up?
You can look it up at Centrumpics.
Listeners want to know more. There's
Yes,
whole research behind it, right? You're a huge proponent of this cloud. I'd love to
yes,
try it out. And there are ways for people to try it out.
yes. We can ship it to them. They can try it out.
That is
Okay.
amazing. So,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
else is in your daily routine? Is there certain food that we should be eating more? You already
Yeah.
hinted, eat less out, but we are in a takeout society and Uber Eats society
Mhm.
here.
Mm.
And
Yes,
what
yes, yes.
we do
So I
better?
have there's two supplements. I don't think I'll ever stop doing it. One of them is a immune detox. Okay.
Okay, what does it do?
Okay. So the immune detox has 3 ingredients. One of them is called calcium deglucarate. It's not a calcium supplement because calcium is just a carrier. There's only 30 milligram calcium, not much. But the deglucaric acid is a molecule produced by the body next to glutathione, okay, very large quantity, because this little chemical binds to chemicals like plastics, like BPA. When it binds to it, it make it water soluble because most of the plastic are fat soluble. And that's one of the reasons we're having a explosive obesity epidemic, not just in America, but also in other countries too. So plastic tend to get to your estrogen receptor. Estrogen is beautiful, but estrogen is why women have more fat than men. That's it. Because it actually stimulates fat cell to divide. It also make it bigger, right? So when people lose weight, they're dumping tons of toxins. So you really need to bind the toxin and make sure they're water soluble so that you can poop it out, pee it out, and sweat it out. So that's one ingredient. It's called calcium deglucarate. They bind to the chemical and they make it water soluble so you can poop it out. So that's one. The second one is called the beta glucan. Now, beta glucan is very common. Everybody knows it's for your immune system. It's an immune system balancer. But very few people know beta glucan. Let's say you go out to a food store and they give you the slippery takeout box, right? You had a wonderful meal, but now you listen to this talk, you get really kind of upset. You're going to get all the plastic.
Yes.
If you take the beta glucan with you, it binds to the PFA, it makes you poop it out instead of absorbing into the blood.
So it's the immune detox is just to get rid of the heavy metals in the body and
not heavy metal, plastic.
The plastic out of body. Yeah, and even how about the water? The water in plastic containers. Is that something that we should watch out for? I had read that it's like, especially when you leave it out in the water, that it can the sun, the chemicals can get blended into the water. Is that true?
Yes. So water bottle is something I want everybody to switch to stainless steel. The best, get a good stainless steel. You know, the breast cancer prevention partner, they work with a company called the Clean Canteen, and their stainless steel is very clean because some of the stainless steel leach aluminum, other metals. So you want to get a good quality stainless steel. My favorite is actually glass.
Yes.
Yeah. The problem with glass is sometimes you break it. That's the only problem. So glass, good quality stainless steel as your water container. Very, very important.
Got it.
I think the best is to get a water filter if you live in a city that has, the water is questionable.
Yes.
You filter the water, you fill it up, your glass water bottle. And let me tell you, it's wonderful because by the end of the day, you want to drink half of your body weight ounce of water.
Yes, that's a huge tip. I actually didn't know that. I just started drinking more and I'm already feeling so much better. Half of your body weight in ounces. So can you share with us your second supplements that you're taking every day? What is that?
The second supplement is called the Clear Detox Pro. And look it's a little liquid like this.
And you put it in your water?
You put in the water.
Okay. What does it do?
It sucks out heavy metal and mycotoxins. Mycotoxins mold. Now, mold, if you look at the mold on the orange, on the apple, on your whatever, your bread, right? You're like, oh my God, the mold is going to kill me. No. The mold itself rarely make people sick. Even they look bad. They are the most common irritants of your immune system. So you may touch some mold. Sometimes you touch the orange that's molded. You just wash it off and it's gone. The problem with mold is when the mold gets agitated. For example, people saw the mold in their bathroom. What do? They get like a bleach. They go out and scrub it. Mold is a very old species. So when the mold is threatened, it tend to release the toxin. The toxin is much smaller molecule. They tend to get into your brain and then make the brain very agitated. When the brain is agitated, you will see people get mad or like they were just having a nice conversation. They're like, you know what, Dr. Lu is the best doctor. She just listened to me for an hour. Blah, blah, blah. And then she goes out. Let's say this person has mold issue. And all of a sudden she can't remember what I just told her. And then she gets frustrated with herself. Then she go into a panic. And next thing she will say, what kind of doctor is that? That's a really bad doctor. I'm going to give her a bad review.
Wow. Wow. So, Dr. Lu, as we are nearing toward the end of our show, what is one thing, if we could do just one thing right now, what would it be?
I think the one thing I would do the math. Let me give you a quick story. I had a patient with severe neuropathy, okay? And his feet are burning. His life was miserable because he just overcome lung cancer, stage 4, get rid of all the cancer, doing really well. But the neuropathy is from the chemotherapy and also a chronic back issue. So it was very hard. Neuropathy is hard to treat. And so, of course, I did a toxin test. I said that you need to take all these things to get rid of toxins, blah, blah, blah. Because his nervous system is screaming, right? He could not think straight. Even though I just gave him very simple thing to do, can't do it. He got the mat. He put his body on the mat 15 minutes twice a day. Within a week, he said, Dr. Lu, my nervous system was screaming every day. No matter what you tell me to do, I'm not going to do it. I can't. And now I can see him one thing at a time, getting a water filter, eating organic food, taking the Clear Detox Pro, taking the immune. And now he's much calmer because recovering nervous system is not overnight.
It's not overnight, but there is always one thing that we can improve and do better. Don't drink water out of the plastic bottles and don't eat out as much. Do a toxin test, heavy metal test. See where you are. Check where you are. What gets measured gets done. You can't fix something you don't know you have. Well, there's so much, Dr. Lu, that I'm taking away from your shares and your insights. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I definitely want to try out the clot and see how it makes me feel. And there's always one thing we can improve. I'm going to ditch my water bottles. And the testing, I'm on it. Thank you so much, Dr. Lu, for joining us today. Your insights, if our readers just follow, just take home one or two things and just implement it for your health and for your well-being, reduce stress, and you're going to just live better, healthier, and happier. So thank you for joining us. I really look forward to meeting you one day in person.
I will. I'm going to be in Orlando on February 27 and 28. And let's make an effort to meet.
Yes, I would love that. I'm going to put that on my calendar right now. Thank you so much, Dr. Lu. Bye, everybody. And I see you guys next week to another episode of Sprinkle Happiness.